At weekend, a girl came to her friend's house. But there was not a single person in the house. The basement next to suddenly transmitted a strange sound. The girl went downstairs to take a look, and was amazed to find her friend nibbling at her baby. Frightened, she ran upstairs. But at that moment, a man suddenly closed the door. On the door came a sound of scratching. The door was engraved with a symbol. But what this ultimately represented? No stimulation, no narration. This is C drama. I'm Little C. Today let us watch a horror movie, The Wretched. Ben was a 17-year-old high school student. Because parents divorced, he had to run back and forth between his mom and dad. During the summer break, Ben went to his father's harbor to help. He met a strange neighbor family. Also knew a girl named Mallory. That day, the neighbors went out to hunt. Mom suddenly hurriedly told her son Dylan to go the other way for a while. Suddenly, from the deep forest came the screams of his mother. Dylan heard the sound. When he ran over, he discovered a strange tree hole. A black claw protruded from the tree den. The inside often made strange noises. Fortunately, Mother arrived on time. Dylan didn't move forward. Then, the tree hole also disappeared. Dylan followed Mom home. Busy all day, the whole family caught a deer. Mother tried to handle the body with a knife. The result was a pile of chicken feathers. Almost vomited. Powerless, they had to let the dead deer outside. But at night, in the belly of the dead deer suddenly came out two black claws. Looking closely, it was the claws in the tree during the day. The voice outside woke up the male lead Ben. He woke up to check it out. Discovered a hole in the neighbor's basement. Thought it was the work of some animal. But at this moment, behind Ben appeared a shadow of a devil. Without waiting for Ben to turn around to see the enemy, the lights on the floor suddenly lit up. Neighbors told him to quickly go home to sleep. Ben also shyly left that place. The next day, the bizarre thing happened again. The neighbor's flowers and plants were strangely withered. And Ben kept guarding his mind about last night. He looked for a neighbor's son Dylan. Told the boy to notice the strange surrounding noises, and report back to him. Waiting until evening, the neighbor's whole family was sleeping soundly. The shadow of the devil last night jumped into the neighbor's house. There was a child in the house learning to speak. The baby, who couldn't sense danger, became the first target of the demon. The loud noise awoke the sleeping mother. She stood up, walked over to the side of the baby. But the baby turned into a branch. Suddenly, under the bed there was a pair of protruding claws. The mother was also dragged under the bed. After that, Ben just went home, met his neighbors. Only saw her holding the baby run into the forest. Ben came forward to say hello, but she did not reply. He immediately realized the unusual, intending to chase. But at this moment, Dad stopped him. Ben just had to obediently go home. The next morning, Dylan discovered that his rabbits were missing one. He hugged the rabbit upstairs and asked his mother. But she saw her naked mother standing by the window, moving strangely. This sight truly frightened Dylan. The boy hurriedly hid in Ben's house, waiting for his father. But not long after, the neighbor's wife came to the door. Aware of danger, Ben chose to hide. He stepped up to stop the neighbor's wife, and said Dylan wasn't there. But she didn't seem to believe Ben's words. Even threatened to cut off Ben's hand. Right at the moment two people were struggling. Dylan's dad came home. Hearing father's voice, Dylan ran down quickly. Ben wasted his kindness. The neighbor's wife kept staring at him. After going home, Dylan told Dad that Mom was very strange. But Dad only considered Dylan a child. Didn't care about his feeling. Said some nonsense and slept. The second day Ben went to the harbor to work as usual. But Dylan had to go to the harbor to go to school at noon. Still didn't appear. Ben was not assured, rushed to the neighbor's house to ask. But at that moment the neighbor said he didn't have any son. After hearing his answer, Ben guessed Dylan was in danger. When Ben was preparing to leave, he suddenly spotted a symbol on the neighbor's door. A strange symbol like a deer's head. Next Ben searched the internet for related documents. That symbol represented the mother of darkness in the jungle. Legend said that each forest had a demon like that in existence. It often lurked in rock crevices, dry tree, or in animal carcasses. It swallowed up forgotten people, at the same time erasing people's memories, replacing them As Suchit seemed that this could be explained, the neighbor's wife possessed by the devil continued to eat the baby and Dylan, and erased people's memories of them. That's why the neighbor couldn't remember his children. Then Ben sprinkled salt in the house to eliminate evil. At the same time talked to her best friend Mallory. Through the window too saw the neighbor's wife taking out a trash bag from the cellar. Ben suspected in the cellar there was a secret that couldn't be told to others. Mallory felt that Ben was too nervous. Because to dispel his doubts, Mallory passed a piece of paper into a neighbor's house. It wrote, "I knew the secret of your cellar." After reading, the neighbor felt strange. He went back to the garden and prepared to enter the basement. But at that moment his wife came to his side. After saying some words, greater than, the neighbor was controlled by the devil. He completely turned into a walking corpse, no longer receiving any outside news. The plan failed, but Ben did not give up. At night, he flipped through the neighbor's trash. It turned out, the garbage that the neighbor's wife threw away during the day, all were objects related to children. Even if she could erase human memories, but she couldn't make things disappear. After that, he actively broke into the neighbor's basement. Here put a deer head like an altar. There was a picture above. Looking closely, Ben discovered the wrong point. It turned out, the devil was targeting Mallory's sister. The person cut in the photo had lost memory. Her sister had now become the forgotten. Ben hurried over to Mallory's place. But the devil was one step faster, taking the sister away. He saw the devil, immediately chased into the forest. Seeing that the sister had been pulled into the tree hole, he used all his strength to pull the sister out. But in the end it still didn't work out. He himself was not careful to fall and faint. When Ben woke up, it was already dark. That tree hole also disappeared. Back home, 2 policemen were sitting in the room. It turned out, the neighbor discovered that Ben broke into his house. They warned the police, intending to punish Ben. Because of that, Ben had a fight with his dad. Stepmother stepped forward to comfort Ben. But at that moment, the flower next to immediately withered. Ben realized something was not right. Threw salt at the stepmother. As expected, the devil had taken over the body of the stepmother. Ben drew a knife to cut her. But the father, after seeing that, thought he wanted to kill stepmother. Helpless, Dad just gave Ben to the police. Before leaving, Ben saw the stepmother was talking something with the police. Not long after, Ben immediately discovered the policeman's abnormality. Turned out, he turned into a wooden puppet of the devil. Then, the police took Ben to the beach, prepared to kill him. But at that moment, he suddenly regained consciousness. He raised his gun and aimed it straight at Ben. It was clear that he didn't want to kill the opponent. After a while, the police raised a gun and committed suicide. So Ben escaped death. On this side, the father who wanted to go to the police stopped. Believing in his son, he was going to investigate the underground situation. Went into the cellar, it was empty. Dad was also very disappointed, ready to leave. But as soon as he got to the door, the neighbor's monstrous behavior attracted him. Dad followed the neighbor into the room. In the chaotic room, showing several corpses. The center position of the room also had an altar. It turned out, his son said the truth. But all of these were too fantastical. Dad approached to check the pictures hanging on the altar. One of them was a photo of his family. Their heads were all cut to pieces. It seemed that something had been forgotten. When he was confused, the devil suddenly attacked him from behind. Fortunately, Ben arrived in time, attacking the enemy with a gun. Dad escaped. After that, the true form of the devil burst from its mantle. They wanted to drive away. But at that moment, the photo in the room was burned by kerosene. The curse vanished. Ben and Mallory both remembered their loved ones. Turned out, Ben had a younger brother. From day one to this town, his memories had been erased by the devil. Then Ben and Mallory entered the forest. Because the curse had disappeared, they found that hole in the tree. Ben took the gun and burst into the tree hole. He saved Mallory's brother and sister, preparing to leave. It was at that moment that the devil suddenly chased. They struggled fiercely in front of the tree hole. Struggling for a while, Ben was almost pulled into the tree hole. Mallory was smart. Grabbed a pile of sand, threw at the opponent. When the devil didn't notice, the people turned around to escape the pursuit. And Ben's father at that time also drove too. He gripped the steering wheel, kicked the gas. He rushed over with all his might, locking the devil in the tree hole. After that, the people lit a fire and burned the devil's lair. This was finally over. In the end, Ben's family reunited. He kissed Mallory goodbye at the harbor. Before leaving, she also gave Ben a flower. The two's happy summer vacation just ended. On the way home, Ben looked at the flower. But at that moment, he discovered that the flower was fake. Immediately thought of the scene in the past when the devil made the flowers wither. Ben suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. Maybe Mallory had turned into a new cover of evil. After that, the scene moved to Mallory. She calmly sat down on a small boat. Followed the kids to fish until evening. Her cold smiling face faced the camera. The movie also lowered the curtain here. The Wretched is a film released in 2020. Like similar horror movies, the plot of The Wretched is very unique. The film, through all elements, told a parable that comes into the heart. Demons under the cover. With forgetfulness as death. All of which makes this movie rise a notch in terms of meaning. In the end of the movie, the director also intentionally left a turning point. In the end, Mallory became a new cover of evil. Or the real devil will not disappear forever. What we can do is to appreciate those close to us. Alright, today's story ends here. Thank you for your support for Little C. What movies are you interested in? Do not hesitate to comment. See you next episode.